good after or good evening or whatever the hell time it is wherever you live. Hell, you might be watching this tomorrow morning. Uh, anyway, hope everybody is doing well. Oh man, some significant things in the news today, without a doubt. I don't actually have a ton of news for you, but like I said, some of it's pretty significant. Kind of nuts. It really, truly is kind of nuts how everything is shaking out. I'll tell you what. I know I've said it a million times, but I think time's running short, and I think folks aren't taking it serious. I don't know that they're going to be ready, and I think we got a definitely a dark road ahead. Man, I'll tell you, it's every direction. It stuns me to look at it all. Between the food shortages, not just food shortages, but just, shortages overall. There's tons of them. And beyond that's the supply chain issues that we all know about. And beyond that is, places, in China right now are locked down. Major manufacturing centers. So there's not a whole lot moving out of there right now. So not only do you have a depletion of supplies here, both out of stores, warehouses, but it's not in the docks, and it's not on the way. And so that's going to pose a lot of problems. So that's something to keep in the back of your head. If there's things that you do need to get, do what you can to get on it. Again, I don't know how much longer we're going to have to be able to simply go online to Amazon and purchase this or that. I don't know. Things are really not looking good, and there's certain posturing that's going on. Of course, everybody's well aware of what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. But there's a certain posturing that's going on right now with China as well. That is something that we should definitely take note of and be concerned with. I'll tell you what, I really do think that come May 9th, if there isn't anything up until that date involving Russia and Ukraine, I think there will be something very significant come May 9th. It very well may be a tactical nuclear weapon. He may use, hypersonic delivery system. Not that it would be necessary, but sure in the hell would get the job done. I'll tell you, it's crazy. I know a lot of people, they think automatically when they hear about the Satan II, STARMAT, they think automatically that it, that itself is the bomb. It's not. That's the delivery system. But then you have your warhead. They have all kinds of different types of warheads. They have tactical ones that, they can basically designate the range that they want to take out. And, there are radioactive, residuals from it. However, as far as I know, it's not like other types of nuclear, like high-yield nuclear bombs that would, or warheads, that would leave a really long-lasting radioactive presence. So, it's just crazy to think about. And like I say, that all the signs are there, all the posturing is there, all the language is there. It's not banter. It's not rhetoric. It's not the same old, same old. And this situation, I honestly feel at this point, even is starting to make the Cold War look just that, cold. So, I don't know. Get on getting on. That's all I can recommend to people. Let's see. Like I said, I don't have a ton. I've got some tabs open for you. Of course, we'll be talking about what happened with the judges, with the Supreme Court, them being doxxed. We'll be talking about that here just momentarily. We're going to be talking about, obviously from the title, what the U.S. STRATCOM chief has had to say. And then from there, just stuff going on. We got an interesting article about China that is something, like I said, that I think we better really kind of keep an eye on. So let me go ahead and switch you over to WebView and grab a sip of coffee real quick before we get started. Oh, man. I know I'm ready to take a couple days away. I got to play with another plane today. It's called a Foxbat, A-22 Foxbat. And those are fun little toys. So I'll probably be playing with that among other planes probably tomorrow. Anyway, I don't mess around too much on the flight simulator. I went in it just to check out the Foxbat for, I don't know, I might have been in it 15 minutes or something, 20 minutes tops. And it's a pretty awesome bird, I'll tell you that. I used to fly one in FSX, a previous simulator. I even modded it. It was, my little Foxbat. It was cool. Seriously, it was modded so much that you could hit your throttle, full throttle, with your even with your parking brake on, and almost take straight off from the spot you were parked at. I mean, literally, you didn't even really have to roll in order. Yeah, it was pretty fun. Not realistic whatsoever, but it was a lot of fun to fly. Alright. Pardon me, now I'm going to start coughing now that I'm ready to start doing that. My throat hates me. Alright, as you see here, abortion activists post addresses of SCOTUS justices. As the article says, pro-abortion activists have published what they say are some home addresses of 6 U.S. Supreme Court justices on a website, urged like-minded people to stage protests there. Launched on Wednesday, the website Ruth Sent Us invites would-be activists to contact the organizers to join in picketing the justices' homes, and even offers stipends for those who want to get paid to create art skewering the so-called 6 extremist judges. Our 6-3 extremist Supreme Court routinely issue rulings that hurt women, racial minorities, LGBTQ+, and immigrants' rights, the site declares. We must rise up to force accountability using a diversity of tactics. Those interested in joining or leading a peaceful protest outside the homes of the 6 extremist justices are invited to let us know. RSU takes its name from the late liberal Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who died of cancer in 2020 and who, according to the website, at least believed that women deserve trust, Black Lives Matter, love is love, and no human is illegal. The individuals behind RuthSent.us have apparently opted to remain anonymous, hiding behind a Twitter account the dates from 2017. The website itself was set up almost 2 weeks ago. Its current content appeared in reaction to a draft Supreme Court opinion written by Justice Sam Alito. Oh, well, you already know that stuff. So, but anyway, that is insane, and that is the level of the way where things have gone in this country. I think this is insane. Huh. You know, I mean, I'm all about public servants being held accountable and stuff like that, but these individuals are doing their job, and their job is to essentially interpret the Constitution and what it intends, and make sure that there are nothing, no laws or anything are infringing upon that. I don't understand myself personally the whole Roe versus Wade argument to begin with. But that's just me. And, I just find that strange why it would ever have been allowed for just like a birth control option, if you will. I'm just dumbfounded. But that can of worms was opened. And so putting that genie back in the bottle is probably going to be quite impactful. And we'll see. But I do expect that there's going to be a lot of unrest if this continues. And they do indeed do this. If they turn this over. This is going to be crazy. This is going to be crazy. And this is just this alone. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be heading towards food shortages and everything else. Continuing price increases. And so all this stuff is really going to start taking its toll on people. And that's going to cause people to not only be in the streets, but probably have a little more vigor. So, something to keep in the back of our minds. But again, that's just here domestically. Oh, really? Just happened to look up at the chat. Combine and control. And I didn't know abortion's illegal in Arizona. So I didn't know that. I don't get it. I don't get why that can was ever allowed to be open on that level. I'm not saying that there are never any instances or anything like that. I'm just saying as just to be able to go in as a form of birth control. Let's see. Oops. All right. As you see here, U.S. STRATCOM chief issues nuclear warning. This is definitely something that I have been trying to say over and over and over and over myself for quite some time, many years. But the problem has progressively gotten worse over time. Now, we have just started the process of trying to gain back ground, but we're not there yet, and it's going to be a while. But anyway, Gonna see what this has got to say here. It says the head of America's nuclear forces has sounded an alarm in Congress, suggesting that Washington's ability to deter attacks by rivals may be lacking amid threats from Russia and rapid buildup of China's strategic weaponry. We are facing crisis deterrence dynamics right now that we have only seen a few times in our nation's history, U.S. Strategic Command Chief Admiral Charles Richards said on Wednesday in a Senate hearing. He reiterated concerns over three-party deterrence dynamics, of which he warned lawmakers in March, citing the Ukraine crisis. The nation and our allies have not faced a crisis like Russia's invasion of Ukraine in over 30 years, Richard said. President Vladimir Putin simultaneously invaded a sovereign nation while using thinly veiled nuclear threats to deter U.S. and NATO intervention. Meanwhile, Chinese leaders are watching the war in Ukraine closely and will likely use nuclear coercion to their advantage in the future, the admiral said. Their intent is to achieve the military capability to reunify Taiwan by 2027, if not sooner. I think much sooner. Richard has repeatedly warned of the Chinese nuclear buildup and called for U.S. President Joe Biden's administration to reconsider funding development of a proposed low-yield nuclear-capable cruise missile that could be launched from submarines. He reiterated that request on Wednesday, saying that Ukraine crisis adds to the urgency to bolster nuclear deterrence. The war in Ukraine and China's nuclear trajectory, their strategic breakout, demonstrates that we have a deterrence and assurance gap against the threat of limited nuclear employment, Richard said. He added that nuclear forces are the foundation of U.S. capacity to deter attacks. Biden has proposed a $30 billion increase in U.S. defense spending to $813 billion, despite the fact that Washington already outspends the remainder of the world's 10 largest military budgets combined. The proposal includes a 92% funding increase for the European Deterrence Initiative to $6.9 billion. The STRATCOM commander said budget shortfalls or further development delays would have operational consequences, he added. Weapons program delays have driven U.S. past the point where it is possible to fully mitigate operational risks. In some cases, we're just left to assess the damage to our deterrent. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens, unfortunately. I have a feeling. So, other things going on. Pentagon denies sharing intel with Ukraine to kill Russian generals. I don't know if it was the New York Times that made that or who it was that made that claim. I don't know. I seen that in the headlines earlier as well. And anyway, we'll read it. It'll probably be self-explanatory. The Pentagon has denied media reports suggesting that it shared intelligence with Ukraine to specifically target high-ranking Russian military officials. I'll be able to read, I promise. The United States provides battlefield intelligence to help Ukraine defend their country, Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby said during a meeting briefing on Thursday. At the same time, Kirby admitted that Kiev combines intelligence it gets from multiple unspecified sources to take its own decisions, apparently shifting the blame for reported killings of Russian generals onto Ukraine itself. Ukraine combines information that we and other partners provide with the intelligence that they themselves are gathering, and then they make their own decisions and they take their own actions, he said. Kirby's remarks echoed the statements made by National Security Council spokeswoman Adrienne Watson, who also insisted that U.S. intelligence wasn't provided to the Ukraine forces with the intent to kill Russian generals. With the intent to kill... Okay. The now denied U.S. assistance in targeting high-ranking Russian officials was first reported by the New York Times. The newspaper said Washington provided Kiev with information on Russia's mobile military headquarters, citing anonymous American officials. Ukraine then combined the data with its own intelligence, carrying out strikes that purportedly killed an unspecified number of Russian commanding officers. So, don't know, but I'm sure, regardless, that Russia believes it was us. Hell, I'm pretty sure that it was us. Hell, we probably did everything but push the button. Hell, we probably even put them in a nice cushy office chair and rolled them up to a console. Been like, okay, when we tell you, push the red button. Right? And then step back and, well, we didn't do it. Let's see. U.S. steps up training for Ukrainian military, says media. So, again, this is going to be, I think, a continuing thing. I think they're going to, right here in Ukraine, and I think also in other places, but certainly, well, not in Ukraine, but in the surrounding countries. I do think, pardon me. Should have turned the mic off. Sorry. I do think within probably the next 2 to 3 months, it's probably going to be a hot war. If not, much quicker than that. Again, May 9th, I think it's going to be a real big day, and I think that that's going to be a real big indicator as to how quickly things fall. I don't honestly think we got 2 or 3 months before we're in conflict. I mean, actual conflict. Hopefully, if that happens, it doesn't get stupid, and by stupid, I mean nuclear really fast. So, let's see. I don't know, Kyle. I just, I don't know. I don't know if the Russian GPS is down or not, or disrupted. I know that they, like us, have their own systems. So, they would be completely down. I don't know. Maybe their civilian GPS are not working. But military, like our military, they've got their own systems. Because we'll probably be losing our GPS real quick like. Let's see. This here is says the U.S. is stepping up its training program aimed at familiarizing more Ukrainian troops with the American-made weapons being supplied to Kiev by Washington. The Hill reported on Thursday, citing unnamed Pentagon officials. Oh, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. According to the outlet, hundreds of Ukrainian service members are currently being trained by American instructors in a number of European countries where they are acquainted with the U.S.-made artillery systems and drones and radars. Damn, I'll get it right. Hang on. The Hill report pointed out that the latest numbers revealed by U.S. defense officials indicate a major increase compared to just about a dozen such troops in early April. Over 220 Ukrainian troops have now been trained in the use of U.S.-manufactured artillery, including the 155 millimeter M777 howitzer, 90 of which Washington has pledged to provide to Kiev, the outlet said. 20 more Ukrainian service members on Sunday completed their training program on the state-of-the-art Phoenix Ghost loitering munition, Senior U.S. defense official cited by The Hill reportedly said on Monday that another 50-plus Ukrainian troops are going to embark on a training course later this week. U.S. Army Brigadier General Joseph E. Hilbert, the head of the 7th Army Training Command in Europe, told journalists on Tuesday that the U.S. instructors were running through a streamlined course here on the new equipment and they'll be receiving. He noted that the goal in all of this is to get them back as soon as possible so that they can train others within their army on the equipment. Hilbert also confirmed that since 2015, the U.S. has trained as many as 23,000 Ukrainian service members inside the country. A program which has so far cost $126 million. American instructors continued to provide training to Ukrainian troops in the country up until early this year, when the threat of a Russian invasion forced the Pentagon to withdraw its personnel from Ukraine. So it says, on top of that, Ukrainian forces have participated in over a dozen large military exercises alongside American troops over the past 7 years, the U.S. general revealed. So, it's kind of par for the course, to be honest. I think we're going to step up a lot more, and I think before very long at all, there's not going to be any more of this, we're training them over here kind of thing, because I think it's just going to be hot. So, unfortunately. And then we got this going on. Australia to build unmanned subs amid tension with China. And you have a couple of sips of coffee here. Like I said before, once that deal was signed, it basically was probably going to be pretty much an open invitation as far as the military-industrial complex is concerned to put anything they damn well please over there. So anyway, this here says Australia is seeking to build a new autonomous robotic undersea warfare capability. Now, let's say that again. A new autonomous robotic undersea warfare capability. Meaning this thing works on its own. Minister for Defense Peter Dutton said on Thursday, announcing a new program to develop underwater drones for the Navy. The same day, Dutton warned that Australia must prepare for war. The project will be co-funded by the Defense Ministry and the Australian subsidiary of Anduril, a U.S. headquartered company working in the autonomous warfare field. Defense and Anduril Australia will co-fund a program to design, develop, and manufacture extra-large autonomous undersea vehicles in Australia for capability assessment and prototyping, Dutton said in a statement. The submarine drones are expected to complement and enhance the agility and potency of the Navy's current submarine and surface combatant force in the Indo-Pacific region, the official explained. The vessels are also expected to provide the force with innovative mission options, as they would become a disruptive and difficult undersea problem for any adversary. The research and development program is expected to run over the course of the next 3 years, yielding 3 drone submarine prototypes and ultimately resulting in a manufacture-ready XLAUV, Dutton said. While the minister did not provide any cost estimates for the program, local media suggested it will require 2 billion Australian dollars, which is equivalent to 1.4 billion American dollars in investment. Apart from developing the subsurface drones, the Australian military is also set to procure U.S.-made Evolved Sea Sparrow missile Block 2, Stetton said in a separate statement. It is a modern naval anti-aircraft missile designed specifically to intercept supersonic maneuvering anti-ship missiles as well as other aerial targets. The first batch of missiles have already arrived in Australia for initial integration and testing purposes, according to the minister. They will be used by Australian surface naval vessels. The announcements come amid growing. That's just going to go into the backstory of everything, so you already know. But in my opinion, the thing from today to really keep an eye on, China tests sanctions scenario, says the media. Says the Chinese government has ordered a comprehensive stress test to see how the country would handle sanctions like the ones imposed by the West on Russia, the UK's Guardian newspaper reported on Wednesday, citing sources. An unnamed person with direct knowledge of the matter told the paper that an extensive exercise began around late February and early March when Western allies imposed sweeping sanctions against Moscow. The source said that several key Chinese government agencies had been asked to come up with the responses if the West imposed similar embargoes on China. Those involved in this exercise use how Russia was treated as a baseline for China's own policy response should it be treated in the same fashion by the West, the source explained, adding the stress test involves a range of methodology, including modeling. Tong Zhao, a senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace based in Beijing, said that from Beijing's perspective, if the U.S.-led Western allies could take such measures against Moscow, they could also do the same to China. Therefore, it needs to know how resilient the country really is. Zhao added that for the past few years, there's been a growing concern among Beijing's leadership that a strategic conflict between China and the West may not be a question of whether it happened, but when it will happen, in particular over the issue of Taiwan. The Financial Times reported earlier that the Chinese Finance Ministry and the central bank held a meeting last month with domestic and foreign banks, including HSBC, to discuss how they could protect China's overseas assets should Russia-style sanctions led by the U.S. and its Western allies also be imposed. So, yeah. Definitely something to keep an eye on. And I want to remind everybody of just how screwed we would be if all the imports from China just ended. Boom. It would put a hurting on us. Same as if all the imports from other countries, because keep in mind, to my knowledge, not everything from, say, like Russia has quit. As far as I know, we're still importing fertilizers and stuff as far as I know. So, you got that, but like I say, if China cuts us off, don't get me wrong, as far as food, I do think that the United States would reroute everything. I think that things would get rough, but I don't think that they would be impossible for the most part. I think as long as people were prepared, had that little bumper, not necessarily a little bumper, but as long as they got a bumper, I think they've got a chance. I think they've got a fighting chance. Also depends, it all depends on where you live in the whole 9 yards, You have to live somewhere where you can produce, Alrighty. If you live in the desert, it might be a little hard to grow a garden. A little bit. Alright, let's run through the headlines. Close this week up, make it an easy night. UK Parliament summons Elon Musk. I'm sure a lot of people are summoning Elon Musk right now. PayPal releases media outlets from frozen funds. That was nice of them. South Korea joins NATO cyber defense. Let's see. U.S. helped Ukraine kill Russian generals, and like I said, it says here New York Times. EU nation rejects Russian oil ban proposal. Boss of Gazprom-backed Russian giants react to Euro ban. Turkish inflation out of control. Covered that. Shareholders sue Netflix. U.S. is world's greatest propagator of disinformation, says a senator. Really can't argue that. Kremlin compares Ukrainian forces in Azovstal to terrorists. And I'm sure I said that wrong. World's most dangerous drug trafficker extradited to the U.S. UK issues grim economic forecasts. Prominent anti-Kiev blogger is arrested in Spain. Japan reveals plan to replace Russian energy. Russia expels Danish diplomats. EU calls for confiscation of frozen Russian assets. Musk may serve as Twitter CEO, says media. Taiwan ditches plan to buy U.S.-made anti-sub helicopters. Bill Gates comments on Novak, and I can't say his last name, his vaccine stance. I thought that was interesting. Somewhat sports-related, but because it was Gates and what he was commenting on, that's why I put it out. Germany outlines conditions for lifting Russia's sanctions. Ukrainian and German presidents agree to bury the hatchet, says media. Australia to build... Oh, covered that. Russians may be banned from buying real estate. Brits living in EU is embarrassed to be British. What a study says. Australia reacts to Solomon Islands invasion threat claim. Belarus comments on pace of fighting in Ukraine. Kiev reveals when counteroffensive against Russia might happen. A doctor reveals reason behind pig heart transplant recipient's death. Surprising messenger scuttled Ukraine-Russia talks, says media. Sweden's ruling party divided on NATO decision. Putin issues an apology, says Israel. Biden's chief spokeswoman to leave White House next week. You know, Peppermint Patty. Jen Psaki. Pentagon denies sharing intel with Ukraine. Oh, I covered that, and I covered that. Swiss cops seize half a ton of cocaine from espresso factory. Somebody wanted to really wake up. Let's see. Is Israel hit with another terrorist attack? And Elon Musk to run Twitter himself temporarily, says a report. And that would be the headline. Fun, fun, fun. You haven't seen mini bear shelves? I know you can't get chili here. No, I know here shopping, at least shopping online, things are kind of few and far between. And of course that uses the stock that's in the stores, so. But, you just kind of have to pick around. Hopefully we get the chicken. Man, I'll tell you what, both the cost of the chicken and the eggs were just insane. But I did it though. I mean, hell, we don't we weren't able to get stuff to make chili, so gonna make burritos instead. We have such an exciting menu around here. Anyway, I'm gonna get the hell out of here and relax for a couple of days. God willing, we'll see you back on Sunday. So I appreciate everybody coming. Hope to see you soon. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.